Hi, Victoria here. Thanks for joining me. Today we visit the feet in the series of self-massage for stress relief, and stick to the end because I'm going to give you the most wonderful visualization and affirmation to solidify our grounding in this world through our feet and some beautiful breath work. Okay, see you soon. Thanks for subscribing. So, welcome back. So, the background to what our feet means psychologically within our body, should we have a failing with our feet or misshapen pain, for instance, what it means is that our feet represent our standing in this world, and they represent how we feel about ourself and our own life, so past, present and future. And there are lots of phrases that relate back to the feet, such as standing on our own 2 feet. And that means that we are happy in this world, we represent ourselves, and we are happy with the way that we come across, where we are in our lives. However, there are other phrases, such as digging our heels in. That means that we're not willing to move with the times, to walk forward. Perhaps there are other phrases like putting our foot down. Maybe we're being stubborn. Again, we don't want to shift and change, maybe compromise. There are other ones like we're putting our best foot forward. So we are willing to move forward in that way, and we're going to give it a good go. We're going to do our best at it. Whereas other things apart from the phrases are if we get issues with our feet. So if we get cold feet, which is a phrase or a condition, then a lot of people get cold extremities, hands, nose and feet. And that can mean that we are not warmed to the situation, the circulation, the blood isn't flowing correctly out to those extremities. And by doing the massage I will show you, that calls the blood to the area. And have a look at the hands massage as well. All of these will help stimulate those extremities that are far away from the heart and need a little bit of exercise and massage to get that moving. Other things that can happen is we could get particularly sweaty feet, and those are people who have a nervousness or an excess of emotion for a particular area in their lives, and they don't feel that they can deal with that situation very well, and it comes out as sweaty palms or sweaty soles. Another area can be swollen ankles or feet, and this can mean that we're fearful and we have emotional burden. A burden can be on the shoulders, but it can also be on the feet. And also, because our delicate little feet are carrying the whole weight of our body, and sometimes that burden can just be too much to bear, and it can create swollen toes, feet and ankles. So peeling feet can mean that we are shedding old mental patterns, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It means that we can shift and change in this ever-evolving life. Maybe those feet need a little bit of TLC, massage stimulation will help. Other things can be, for instance, a rigid foot. So for instance, the arch of the foot is quite flat-footed. That can mean that we feel that we need more grounding, that we feel a little bit vulnerable in this life, and we are subconsciously pushing the arch of our foot flat down to the earth so that we have more contact, more grounding and more stability. Okay, so flat feet can mean that we have hardly any boundary between our private and our public life, and they're sort of crossing over where there is a lot of groundedness, but almost that we are not keeping those lives separate. On the other hand, a raised arch can mean that there's hardly any crossover between public and private life, and that it is all to be seen, and therefore the arch will be quite raised in that manner. High arches can mean that we may appear quite aloof because we are keeping our lives quite separate and therefore not divulging or not talking about private lives within work and not talking about public life at home. One last thing about the psychology of the feet is where our feet point. So if we're standing, have a look occasionally at where your feet are pointing. Now, yeah, surely they would be pointing forward, not necessarily. We might have one foot out. So that can mean that we're paying attention to the person we're talking to if we're standing in a conversation, but actually our mind is elsewhere. Or that we need to get off, we need to go somewhere because and our foot would actually be pointing in the direction that we feel we need to be going next. Another thing is if we're sitting, whether we're sitting cross-legged, sitting directly like this, maybe cross-legged, or in the, as I've said before, the American way with one foot over, then that foot would be pointing to where our attention lies. Maybe we'd be sitting slightly at an angle and our foot would actually be pointing to the person, hopefully, that we're talking to, but actually we might be talking in a completely different direction, like this. We've got one foot over giving us that defensive mechanism and our foot pointing perhaps in this manner, so maybe our attention is actually over here instead. So I'm going to give you a lovely series of techniques to bring health and vitality, some blood stimulation down to those feet. Let's get them nice and healthy, which obviously is a reflexology point all over the foot and ankle. I'm going to be giving you those points as we go so that you know which part of your body you're helping at the same time. So here we go. Self foot massage for stress relief. So first of all, get yourself nice and comfortable. I'm going to cross one foot over the other so that I'm going to bring one foot into view for you. But first of all, just give it a nice whole foot and ankle massage. I'll just raise that trouser up a little bit so you can see the whole ankle. So as you can see, I'm using both hands nice and flat and warming. At this stage you can introduce essential oils if you'd like to. So for instance, rosemary would be nice and stimulating. Mix it into a nice carrier oil. I tend to use an organic sunflower oil. Sometimes I mix in calendula or evening primrose, safflower oil. There are lots of choice of lovely carrier oils out there now. Rosemary is nice and stimulating, or else something like bergamot would be really refreshing. It's really good for depression, psoriasis, and therefore really uplifting. Got that lovely citrusy aroma. So if you have any swelling, discomfort, recent injury, accident to your feet, please do not follow these moves until you have talked to your own physician. Tell them all about it and let them know whether you're able to give yourself a self-massage. So there are lots of nerve endings in the feet, and I'm currently feeling all of those being stimulated. Hundreds and hundreds of nerve endings in the feet, the hands, and all around the face and scalp. So basically it's all of the extremities of the body. So I'm getting my foot nice and warm now. We've now been massaging for a minute or two. So my pressure is normally on the upward movement. So I'm fairly gentle down, wrapping around the feet, and fairly firm coming upwards, always firm upwards towards the heart. So this technique is a French word called effleurage. So now I've warmed up the feet, I'm just going to do a few rotations. So trying as much as you possibly can to relax that leg and that foot. First of all, hold with one hand and rotate fairly slowly and hopefully smoothly in one direction and then the other. There may well be some clicks, little noises. You may feel those little clicks inside the ankle or even the toe joint while you're doing this. So a few in either direction. And really support that. You might want to hold quite strongly, and therefore where those clicks are, just hold strongly into that area, and you may find that those clicks will disappear. Wonderful. So now I'm actually just going to support the lower part of the foot, hold the upper part of the foot like so, and then without moving or allowing the lower part to move, rotate the upper part of the foot. Now I know this is difficult because you're doing it to yourself, and it's really awkward to relax part of your body while you're still stimulating the other. But just do as much as you can. Whatever you can do will still help. That feels great. So you're separating that lower part of the foot. Again, you might get some little clicks in. They feel quite structural. They feel like they're into the bone in that lower part of the foot. That's great. And now I'm going to grab one side of the foot and hold the other, and then just seesaw them. So it's almost like you're bending at the centre. So you can bend in and out in this fashion. And maybe occasionally bend and then hold. Bend and hold. So I've got the lower part of the foot, and I'm basically giving it a seesaw, a little turn, like I'm folding the foot over one way and the other. Bend and hold. And now bend and hold the opposite side. So this bone, the joint of the big toe, all the way down to that ball of the foot there. Great. In and out, front and back, and a few holds. So now we're going to look at the toes. So I'm going to hold my fingers supporting around the very base of the big toe, and then I'm going to try and relax this foot, my right foot, as much as possible, and then rotate that toe and round the other way. Again, you might get some little clicks, but they tend to disappear the more you do this. See if you can repeat this again tomorrow or even every day this week, and that will mean that you'll clear all those clicks, all that clunking movement that you can feel inside. So I've rotated a few ways forwards and backwards on the big toe. I'm now going to move my hand to in between the lower part of the toe, of the second toe, in between the second and third toe, and then I'm going to hold that toe out of the way, multitasking here, and rotating that second toe one direction and the other. I don't know if you're able to do that, so I've got two fingers in between the lower metatarsal of the second and third toes. I've got my index finger holding the big toe away from the second toe. Great, and then I'm going to do the same again, this time holding the second toe away, and I've got my two fingers in between the third and fourth toes. Moving both ways. Let's move on a little. I think you're going to get the hang of this. I can see you all doing it at home. So how are you all? I hope life is getting good for you and that you are finding some peace and some health from these videos. I hope they have brought you some stress relief. Let's carry on now, and I'm going to be massaging in this way with my thumbs the underside of the foot. Let's turn for you in a petrissage move. So we've now done all of the toes, and I'm going to be massaging the ball of the foot and round the pad. Now, in reflexology terms, this area here is one of the lungs, in my case the right lung. So I'm giving myself a good lung massage. There's not many times you can say that, is there? And this will help me breathe more deeply. It will help me clear toxins from my lungs. It will help me gather my strength, because of course when we breathe too shallowly, too rapidly, then we lose a lot of energy. So I want all of my energy for everything I want to do, not things like breathing rapidly. So there are times that I do want to breathe rapidly. So for instance, when I'm doing exercise, for instance on my bike or swimming and yoga, but at the moment I just want to stimulate my lungs so that they are working for me effectively. This area here is the shoulder blade on my right hand side, so I'm going to give that an individual massage, and then cross thumbs over the bottom of the foot. Isn't that great to do? It feels lovely in that arch. Now, it's an interesting thing. If someone else was doing this to me, I might, or some of you might, feel a little bit ticklish here. But when you're doing it to yourself, it's funny, isn't it? You just don't feel ticklish at all. And I think the reason for that is that it's predictable. Your mind knows where your thumbs are going to go at any one moment. Whereas if someone else was treating you, you wouldn't really know where they're going next. I think it's to do with the unpredictability of it. Let me know what you think in the chat. Okay, so a nice zigzag crossover thumbs massage on that foot. Make sure you include the bottom of the heel as well. Our heels get a raw deal. Maybe even the bottom of those toes. Great. I hope you like my t-shirt. It's my new Greenpeace t-shirt and I'm loving it. Protect what you love. So let's carry on to the toes. First of all, I want to give them a little stretch. So I'm going to stretch, if you can see that against my trouser leg, I'm going to stretch between the toes. Only do what feels good. And some of us have more webbing there than others. But that's a really nice thing to do, even with your little toe. Stretch them apart, that's it, and come back again. Hope you can see that all right. Super, okay. And then I'm going to give them a little pull. So we've done the rotation already. I'm going to support at the base, and then I'm just going to pull gently. Don't hurt yourself, only ever do what feels good. This is what we're doing now. We're spreading a little healing. We're spreading our toes apart. We're giving ourselves a lovely massage. And maybe you want to tell some friends about this video and then they'll do the same. So we're spreading that healing around the world. A nice pull. And what I like to do is a little flick. So pull and bring it off. Pull, bring it off. A nice little click there. Bring it off. Super, great. I can see you doing this all on the one foot, and then obviously you're going to need to do it on the other foot as well. Do remember, and come back to it tomorrow. So the next thing we're going to do is actually hold the base of each toe and rotate the upper part of the toe, because there are knuckles, if you like, hinges, halfway down each toe as well. Even the little toe isn't just one bone, it's made up of two bones. So they can be separated and create some space in that toe, between that joint. Moving on to the second toe, so I've got 2 fingers here supporting the base of the second toe, rotating and a little tug. Rotate the third one, little tug. Rotate the fourth, little tug. And get round to the little toe and a little tug. Can you feel that there are 2 bones there? I can. I'm definitely supporting the base, and the top is moving separately. That's great, isn't it? Who'd have thought it, that there's 2 bones in that little toe? So now I want to come through to the front of the foot. So I'm going to bring my fingers up in between my metatarsals. So these toes here are called the phalanges, just like our fingers. And then I'm going to be coming up the metatarsal bones that actually extend in between each toe. So you've got that gap there, another one here, another one here, another one here. So there are 4 gaps between those 5 toes, and I can use 2 fingers at the same time. So first of all, just using 1 finger and pressing fairly firmly, and then coming in between those middle toes fairly firmly, and then I want you to massage in a petrissage motion, which means circular focused attention, up and then into those middle ones. So some of us have quite bony feet, and it can feel quite hard on the anterior, the top front of our foot, but actually that feels really good. It's so good for you to clear those toxins away, and they always want to come upwards. There's a lymph node behind the knee that will be stimulating that in a minute once we've cleared all the toxins away. Super. And then just a whole hand massage upwards, get that warmth. You know, even the skin now is feeling great. How does your skin feel? It should feel more vibrant, more smooth, soft, but also full of life. Yeah. So if you do have any skin issues with the feet, this will help as well. So maybe massage every day. Fantastic. Now, this is something I absolutely love. We're going to do some percussion move, which I know some of you do like watching these at home, so watch or follow along. Nice soft fists, and then little pounding on the top and the base, around the ankle, definitely the heel. That heel gets a raw deal, needs a little massage in this way. You can massage either side, little pounding with soft fists. If you wanted to extend the other way, give it a little pounding down the outside of the ankle as well. Nice little cupping noise. Okay, so once we've done soft fists, we're going to do hacking. So we're going to bring our hands into soft, flat sides of the hand, and I'm just going to hack around the inside of the foot, the ankle, the top of the foot, even onto the toes. Only do what feels good, so fairly gently. Nice little raindrops. Especially on that heel, around the sides of the heel, under the heel, the back of the heel, onto the Achilles. Maybe up the calf a little, because we're going to be stimulating in a moment that lymph node. Okay, and once we've done that, get the fingers in this fashion up into that lymph node. Just stimulate that like in that motion. That's it. Stimulate behind the knee, and that will help absorb those toxins that we've just got moving all around the foot and ankle. Great, there's just one move left, and that is I want to rock the foot back and forward. So pull it down to its extremity, so you've got a nice flat front of the ankle there. pull it down like this, and then push it up as far as you can, almost like if you were standing and pushing your weight forwards over that ankle. That's it. And back again. So this is a seesaw movement, going back and forward on that ankle. Oh, brilliant. It feels great, doesn't it? Lovely. Can't wait to do the other foot now. So let me know how this feels in the chat. I hope this is feeling good for you. I hope it helps all those people that are on their feet all day. You know, I'm on my feet most of the day as well, working in this lovely clinic, and I do love giving myself a foot massage in the evening. Lovely, so that feels great. So I'm now going to show you the most beautiful affirmation visualization and breath work that comes from this book called The Dance Between Joy and Pain by Dru Yoga, and I'll put the link in the chat for you in the about section. So this is what we're going to do now. I'd like you to stand up, feet on the ground, if that is comfortable for you at this moment. You might be on a bus, so maybe not. And have your feet solid in contact with the ground. Just feel that you are here, you are present, you are part of this beautiful earth. You're alive. This is the most magical day. You've just given yourself a gorgeous foot massage, maybe on both feet, and you're feeling really rooted, grounded, and you're standing on your own 2 feet. So feel that contact with the ground, so you're nice and grounded, and yet feel that you are standing tall into the air, into this beautiful world that we have. And now just imagine that you are breathing centered, and you're breathing to your lungs that we've just massaged through the reflexology point on your feet. And as you breathe, imagine breathing that oxygen is going straight to your heart, as it is doing. And your heart is pumping beautifully. And now the next time you breathe in, imagine breathing so that as you inhale, you're actually inhaling through the crown of your head down to your heart. So you're inhaling into your heart, and exhale down through your feet, your beautiful feet, into the earth. And then when you inhale, inhale through your feet back to your heart, and exhale up through your head, up into the skies, inhaling down through your head to your heart, exhaling down through your feet into the ground, inhaling up through your feet to your heart, exhaling up through your head out to the skies, inhaling down to your heart, exhaling through your feet into the ground, deep into the ground, inhaling back up again to your heart, exhaling out to the skies, inhaling, pulling that energy down from the heavens to your heart, exhaling down into the ground, inhaling from the beautiful earth back up into the heart, and exhaling up into the skies. And carry on in this manner just for a few more moments. And affirm to yourself, affirm to your beautiful body, to your mind, to your emotions, and to your spirit. Joy permeates every cell of my being. Joy permeates every cell of my being. Joy permeates every cell of my being. Hands into Namaste, thumbs to the sternum, elbows down, shoulders down. Namaste, my friends. Let's spread a little healing. Thank you for subscribing. I'll see you next week with a whole body short roundup to give yourself a self-massage for stress relief. Thank you, guys.